rejection got us feeling unusual. I'm a diamond in the dirt, like pyramid jewelry. These racist allegations, I'm a victim to this scrutiny. Dedicated to the youth, no choice but to hustle in the ones in broken homes who refuse to have nothing with. Cause we are kings, we are.
Really on a bad day. I want to ask you about those dahlia bulbs, Princey. Took a shortcut on account of the rain and walked right in. Knew you wouldn't mind.
Oh, you heard your father.
we can all have our little jokes. Don't pretend to be shocked. This way, Smollet. This chair, facing the fireplace. Sit down, Mother.
We'll just straighten the curtains to the sun porch, dear. It looks so gloomy out there. Might as well shut the rain out.
Just talking a little theoretical curate killing, Smollet. You know, young people these days like thrillers. Personicide. Justifiable personicide. Have you heard about Ella Bragdon Davis? I shall be most properly laughed at. Why? Why should you be laughed at, Smollet? No, I was shot in that direction myself. They half said yes, too. Haven't you heard? She told most people. Now it'll look as if I got turned down for a white rat in a dog collar. Oh, too bad. No, fortune of war. Yes, fortune of war. Odd how it happens, isn't it? Sit down, Smollet. Millicent, console Captain Smollet with your best light conversation. You too, Mother. George and I have something to look at outside. This rain, you know, very bad, very bad. Come, George.
Righto, Governor.
Eagles got the storm, feathers fall off the wings. Diamonds bathed in brutality, now fall off the kings. While we all encourage war, but we're desperate for peace. Enslaved by the dollar, trying to see it free. Personalities from ugly just to try to be beautiful. Just be there up in my life, forget what happens at funerals. We are seeking the acceptance and it makes us delusional. Cause the fear of this rejection got us feeling unusual. I'm a diamond in the dirt, like pyramids with jewelry. These racist allegations, I'm a victim to this scrutiny. Dedicated to the youth, no choice but to hustle in the ones in broken homes who refuse to have nothing with it. Cause we are kings, we are kings, we are kings.
The king is dead, long live the king. The king is dead, long live the king.
And everybody knows. Cause we are the kings, we are the kings, we are the kings now. And everybody knows. Express the depths of my essence. I'm chasing destiny, blindfolded reflections of my oppression. These dreams that leave me breathless, like exhaling your Pyrexes. Find us at the bottom in the rubble where they left us. Keeping my faith, even though I'm broken, hopeless. Closer to the light, like the summer solstice. Gave you all my heart, let you be a hostess. Should've considered you a fraudulent, your lies are bogus. That's learning experiences, ambition is furiousness. Cry on my shoulder, I took their friendship with seriousness. Cross went unheard, now their eyes be the jealous. They took the abuse, now I know that they're fearless. I'm the voice of the people, now I know that you hear it. Uplifted with ambition, never breaking my spirit, but feel the ache in my soul, and it's breaking my bones. Now it's taking control, but I face it alone as a king. Cause we are the kings, we are the kings, we are the kings now. And everybody knows. Cause we are the kings, we are the kings, we are the kings now. And everybody knows. Eagles got the storm, feathers fall off the wings. Diamonds baked in brutality, not all of the kings. While we all encourage war, but we're desperate for peace. Enslaved by the dollar, rather seeking our dreams. Personalities are ugly, just to try to be beautiful. Just be there up in my life, forget what happens at funerals. We are seeking the acceptance, and it makes us delusional. Cause the fear of this rejection got us feeling unusual. I'm a diamond in the dirt, like pyramids with jewelry. These racist allegations, I'm a victim to this scrutiny. Dedicated to the youth, no choice but to hustle in the ones in broken homes to refuse to have nothing with the kings. Cause we are the kings, we are the kings, we are the kings now. And everybody knows. Cause we are the kings, we are the kings, we are the kings now. And everybody knows. The restless express the depths of my essence. I'm chasing destiny, blindfolded reflections of my oppression. These dreams that leave me breathless, like exhaling your Pyrexes. Find out at the bottom in the rubble where they left us. Keeping my faith, even though I'm broken, hopeless. Closer to the light, like the summer solstice. Gave you all my heart, let you be a hostess. Should've considered you a fraudulent, your lies are bogus. That's learning experiences, ambition is seriousness. Cry on my shoulder, I took their friendship with seriousness. Cries went unheard, now their eyes be the jealous. They took the abuse, now I know that they're fearless. I'm the voice of the people, now I know that you hear it. I'm lifted with ambition, never breaking my spirit, but feel the ache in my soul, and it's breaking my bones. Now it's taking control, but I face it alone as the king. Cause we are the kings, we are the kings, we are the kings now. And everybody knows. Cause we are the kings, we are the kings, we are the kings now. And everybody
Your handkerchief to it. In there on the sunforced floor. Yeah.
Most hated mass bandits.
Yeah. We all need events sometimes, you know? Now how's it feel to be riding on the northern lights? With the property of abandoned houses in the coldest nights. When you seen your family drive, you steady wiping tears. When you seen your brothers rise, finally looking good this year. But I must admit that it left me thrown in the wind and it broke my heart. But I did what I had to do to win, homie, yes, I was scarred. The catapulted above the sky in a bad emotion. Now we popping bottles and spending money, now we talking. Work up on my shoulders so I had to get up. The bitches down to me, I raise the drink, I fire it up. Looking back. It's hard to stay silent, 'cause baby, it's you I am talking
Need high quality beats and instrumentals? Incredible. This is incredible.com. Producer.
On the river.
I am only come here seeking knowledge. They would not teach me of and calling. I'm high soaring, cloud surfing, you'll never find me. My lines are holographic, silver lining and they shiny. I'm blowing Swisses sweet, she burn like poison ivy. I'm such a star that the planets just want to remind me. I'm serving product, Amy Winehouse and Whitney Houston. It's so comical, the comic, yeah, the style is shooting. I'm serving dopest lines, consider it drug trust abuse. Project these images, cinematic, lyrical illusion. I'm tortured MCs, bright shine, I'll make it scorching. Enforce the rules, smooth rhymer, 'cause I make a fortune. I keep a bad bitch that enjoys being spanked. I got the game locked down like money in banks. I heard that all that glitters is gold. I'm so dope, my homie, my delivery sold. This game's so bitter, yeah, shivering cold. They'll never find me, I'm the cipher in the enemy scope. I heard fake friends make true enemies. Good riddance, they only making good memories. I'm fucking with, it must have been my penalty eventually. Karma gets them all in the energy. So take my heart, baby, and you can bleed it dry. Next time I won't be around just to dry your eyes. The sun shines through the droplets of the rain. I've been flying through the clouds while I'm piloting the plane. No rain checks, baby, my checks make it rain. Money on my mind, wide open holes on the brain. I said she wet and ride it down like Noble with Jane. See the jet, no shine like bombs without rays. I'm shining dirty like bloody diamonds from Africa. I'm fixed on the speaker, my rhyming is so spectacular. Life in a fast lane, come and be my passenger. Probably never find me seeing something like time travelers. I'll take your girl out this world, so a Milky Way. 5 days with dazzler, pussy without guilty sway. Doing lingerie away, you put it out here with blonde hair. Living life amazingly than holidays. I'm about to get it more breezy than the palm tree. Smoking on a palm bar, feeling on a strong weed. I heard love makes some size like some coca leaves. Soak on these nuts, swallow down like a coconut. Soaring like an eagle, but I'm flyer than a dimity. Running fire on the track like torches in Olympics. I got them shook like soda when it visibly addicted to my hooks like junkies with syringes. I'm about my business like paper in a briefcase. The ladies' legs wide open, something like the freeways. I put a pistol in your mouth, so how does beef taste? And if you want that beef, I'll cut it up like Philly cheesesteak. And if I up the dose, then I could probably be a 40. Like skyscrapers, know I'm touching the clouds. And Queen Elizzy, girl, it's what I'm really about. Ladies wanna blow me, yeah, they treat me like a family con. Ladies wanna play me sometimes, I understand I'm wrong. Sometimes I feel like life is only simulation. I smoke weed and drink it on my celebration. Baby, remember me forever like the flash of my camera. Feel the weight on my chest like I'm breathing with asthma. Kissing the angels, I know I'm hellbound. Heart scattered on the floor, helpless and I fell down. So please, baby, don't you ever forget me. Keep shooting me down, don't you ever reject me. See, my greatest mystery seems to be my reflection. I keep searching for acceptance, fuck begging for attention, but
I'm so gone, I'm gone, so far away. Nice hard, try hard, in the maze. Play, you put my heart in display. Sunshine, oh let me feel the rain. I'm gone, so far away. Nice hard, try hard, in the maze. Play, you put my heart in display. Sunshine, oh let me feel the rain.
I love to laugh but feel emotionally crippled. See, my heart went numb like a cocaine sniffle. I'm chasing tail, get hit like the flip of a nickel. I need an umbrella. So much rain in the drizzle, life is a gift, that is the promise. Love is the purpose, but it's hard to accomplish. Smile on the surface, skeletons in my closet, and all I need to know is how the hell November rain happened in August, and now I'm finally seeing success, finally seeing progress. I don't wanna lose my identity while I'm in the process. Broken promises, apologies start to bother me. At the bottom, refilling my problems and prophecy. All I need to see is a smile up on my family's faces. Get them out of court cases, put them up on vacations. Just let me achieve that, I'll breathe at ease. See, my heart went cold, but I won't let it freeze. I'm like,
I'm so gone, so far away. Nice hard, try hard, in the maze. Play, you put my heart in display. Sunshine, oh let me feel the rain. I'm gone, so far away. Nice hard, try hard, in the maze. Play, you put my heart in display. Sunshine, oh let me feel the rain.
it's mystifying, I keep defying the gravity. It's like I'm flying, but I keep crying out for my sanity. I see you in my dreams, I keep you in my fantasy. The guilt is building up in this persuasive mentality. Rainy clouds hanging over me like chandeliers. It seems I'm never speaking openly. The damage so severe. She took my hardest trophy, now praised like a souvenir. This loner needs a heart donor, so many volunteers. These negative thoughts, I smile them with the optimism. My friends all long gone, so I optimism. Sometimes I wonder, why do I continue? These people never cared about me, yeah, they just pretend to. X's and O's, fuck these X's and hoes. It's like an exorcism, it's a test of my soul. It's like I'm doing blow, bloody nose. Yeah, I'm running and I'm never looking back, cause these fakes keep running. I'm at high heights, it feels like 30 stories. And if I up the dose, then I could probably be at 40. Like skyscrapers, know I'm touching the clouds. And Queen Elizzy, girl, it's what I'm really about. Ladies wanna blow me, yeah, they treat me like a family con. Ladies wanna play me sometimes, I understand I'm wrong. Sometimes I feel like life is only simulation. I smoke weed and drink it on my celebration. Baby, remember me forever like the flash of my camera. Feel the weight on my chest like I'm breathing with asthma. Kissing the angels, I know I'm hellbound. Heart scattered on the floor, helpless and I fell down. So please, baby, don't you ever forget me. Keep shooting me down, don't you ever reject me. See, my greatest mystery seems to be my reflection. I keep searching for acceptance, fuck begging for attention, but
I'm so gone, I'm gone, so far away. Like saw, try hard, in the maze. Baby, you put my heart in display. Sunshine will let me feel the rain. I'm gone, so far away. Like saw, try hard, in the maze. Baby, you put my heart in display. Sunshine will let me feel the rain.
I love to laugh but feel emotionally crippled. See, my heart went numb like a cocaine sniffle. I'm chasing tailgate head like the flip of a nickel. I need an umbrella. So much rain in the drizzle, like it's a gift. That is the promise. Love is the purpose, but it's hard to accomplish. Smile on the surface, skeletons in my closet, and all I need to know is how the hell November rain happened in August, and now I'm finally seeing success, finally seeing progress. I don't wanna lose my identity while up in the process. Broken promises, apologies start to bother me. At the bottom, refilling my problems and prophecies. All I need to see is a smile, so all my family's faces. Then I'm not in court cases, put them up on vacation.
For instance, Chip Craig and his small gang of 4 men entered the Golden Calf Cafe in Selkirk
Just
one
let me
night.
achieve that, I'll breathe it. My heart went cold, but I wanna breathe.
I'm so gone, I'm gone, so far away. I saw a drop off in the maze. Baby, you put my heart in display. Sunshine, let me feel.
The mountains will get on your trail, and all of you'll soon be looking through bars.
Just tell the Muddies Chip Craig and his boys paid you a visit. They already... Well, that's all they got.
The rain, I'm gone, so far away. I saw, try hard, in the maze. Baby, you put my heart in display. Sunshine, let me feel the rain.
It's mystifying, I keep defying the gravity. It's like I'm flying, but I keep crying out for my sanity. I see you in my dreams, I keep you in my fantasy. And the guilt is building up in this persuasive mentality. Rainy clouds hanging over me like chandeliers. It seems I'm never speaking openly. The damage so severe. She took my hardest trophy, now breaks like a souvenir. This loner needs a heart donor, so when he volunteers, these negative thoughts, I smile them with the optimism. My friends all long gone, so I optimism. Sometimes I wonder, why do I continue? These people never cared about me, yeah, they just pretend to. Ecstasy.
King Street West. Of course, I sell drugs. I live on Pharmacy. Running with niggas from Shooter, Harlem.
Fuck these exes and hoes. It's like an exorcism. It's a test to my soul. It's like I'm doing blow, bloody nose. Yeah, I'm running and I'm never looking back, cause these fakes keep running.
They would not teach me all the calling and sing.
I'm high soaring, clap.
That night, after the money shipment had been delivered from the boat, The new night clerk, Bob Sumner, locked the safe and then sat at a desk going over waybills. The door opened and Chet Craig entered with his men.
Good evening. Something I can do for you, man?
Yeah, sure. Just get up and mosey over to that safe and get it open. That'll save a lot of trouble for us.
You're outlaws.
Well, what do you know, Chet? We're out.
Safe's locked for the night. I can't get it open.
Well, you don't say. Get over there. You'll get some lead.
No, I'll lose my job. Anyway, I can't open the safe.
Bob, I decided to come down and walk home with you. What's wrong?
Mary, get out of here. Get out.
Well, wait a minute. Don't let her leave, Harry.
Stay where you are, lady.
Why are you holding a gun at my husband?
Mary, you shouldn't have come in.
So this is Mrs. Sumner.
Benny, you touch her.
You do what?
Stop it, do you hear?
That's just to show we mean business. Someday, go open that safe if you really care for your wife.
All right.
That's important to me, and I want to publicly apologize.
89 cities are under night curfew, so people's movement has been restricted from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. On daily basis. But during the day, everyone lives a routine life. They go out to offices, they go and work. There are several restrictions, but overall, the lockdown is not there in Gujarat right now.
Do you get a sense that people's view of the crisis and of its risks is changing, given the alarming numbers we're seeing over the last few days?
Well, people on their own, the numbers of people on streets, of course, has decreased because of the numbers of high numbers of cases, and there's a rush in the hospital. So, of course, people on their own are avoiding to go out. But in a nutshell, you can say that for many people, for thousands of people in Gujarat, the life has remained unchanged, and they are moving out of their houses as they were moving out before this pandemic, before the second wave, and the life has remained unchanged for them. So there's not much of the change for many people in Gujarat.
Okay, Roxy Ladeka, our colleague in Ahmedabad in Gujarat, thank you very much indeed.
And we're going to remain in India now, where the pandemic has affected almost everyone, really, including foreign students. Newsday's Bola Mozoru spoke to Anthony Mayath, who is the president of the Association of African Students in India, and Anthony is in Mumbai.
And in the place I'm staying, it's also affected by COVID. I'm in lockdown. We only go out when we are going to buy something to eat, or when our food stuff are done. We only go down and get permission to any shop that's open and buy food.
Who do you get the permission from?
We have to go down. If you get a police, you have to tell police you don't have food stuff. Then police will make you to go and buy some food stuff if there is a place is open. No shop is open, you have to struggle in a way that you will get food. At times you have to go to a black market, because some Indians selling their flats, because it's a black market, you will buy higher price.
What are you hearing regionally in Maharashtra? What kind of information is being broadcast daily on the radio? Do they give you daily updates? Do they give you warnings?
I don't get the news from the radio, because the radio is the local news. I can understand local news very well. So at times I get it from doctors. I have a friends who are doctors, because I work as the president of African student in India. So I have much connection with the doctors and different hospitals, and I get updates from them.
And what are your doctor friends and colleagues telling you?
The situation is not good, because we have to be safe. In the morning, you have to take hot water for you to be healthy, strong. The doctor will not tell you the bad part and the good part, because he or she also is a human being. The eye only tells the reality. From the first I've seen from my eye, things are not going good with us. Only God knows what will be the next step for us.
So what about the fellow Africans that you are in charge of, because you're the president of the African Association there, students in India? What kind of stories or things are people sharing with you?
Majority of us might have depression, stress is too much thinking. At times someone might lose control, but there's nothing the person can do, only to stay strong At times we have to tell them that he comes, we organize a meeting and we become together and we chill sometimes going for mental health and we talk about it.
Is depression one of the biggest issues that you deal with the foreign students during this pandemic?
For example, like me, I'm in India now for 3 years. The situation is not okay. I have no parents, I have no family in this country. So for me to become strong, it is very hard. So the only way I can become strong is by talking with friends, discussing about how things might be. So we have to discuss with friends about mental health. Sometimes we organize a Zoom meeting where we gather and we talk about something. We chill, we create events, we laugh, we come with a topic, we discuss about it to make everything easy for us.
That is Anthony Mayath, President of the Association of African Students in India in Mumbai. And we're going to go back to Mumbai in the next hour of the programme. It is, of course, the country's financial district to see how cases are faring there.
There have been protests in Chad against the military council that took power following the sudden death last week of President Idriss Déby. He's been replaced by his son, Mohamed, surrounded by high-ranking military officers, a move backed by the former colonial power France. Nevertheless, France has condemned what it called a violent crackdown by the authorities in the capital N'Djamena and warned that its support for the generals is conditional on national dialogue and a fully democratic election process. Our Africa correspondent, Andrew Harding, has this report.
Whistles of protest on the streets of Chad's capital, N'Djamena, followed by a heavy security crackdown. Angry crowds were demonstrating against what they say is a military coup d'etat, a coup that the former colonial power France appears to have endorsed. We're tired, said this woman, tired of having a monarchy in Chad. We just want France to free us from this problem. It was just last week that this vast arid nation was thrown into crisis following the sudden announcement of the death of President Idriss Déby after 30 years in power.
Idriss Déby Itno vient de donner son dernier souffle.
Chad's top generals, led by the former president's son, immediately seized control in direct violation of the constitution.
Nous voulions rassurer l'opinion que les membres du Conseil
The military quickly promised a smooth transition to democracy within 18 months. And at President Déby's funeral, France's President Emmanuel Macron backed the military's transition plans, citing the need for stability.
La France ne laissera jamais personne ne remettre en cause et ne laissera jamais personne.
France, he promised, will never allow anyone to threaten the stability and integrity of Chad. The United States has made similar noises. The French Mirage fighter jet takes off from the airport in N'Djamena. For decades, Paris backed President Déby's increasingly authoritarian rule, the French military helping to crush a series of rebellions that continue to this day. But what now?
They are divided by a number of rivalries, personal rivalries, and so on.
Roland Marshall, an academic and expert on the region, warns that Chad's military could fragment.
The prospect for divisions, including clashes, is quite high, in my personal opinion.
And even if that doesn't happen, Marshall believes that generals should not be trusted to look after the country's best interests.
What about the corruption? What about the fact that military were undermining all institutions? There is no place, there is no room for the population, there is no room for development, there is no room for institution building, for state building.
In Chad, opposition leaders like François Djekombe share those frustrations.
Ça, c'est une forme de coup d'État. D'abord, c'est son fils qui a pris le pouvoir.
This is a form of coup d'etat, he says. The president's son has taken power. We find ourselves in a kind of republic of generals.
Remember that?
But there's a reason France and the United States are playing along. Training for war. Troops from Chad, Niger, Mali and beyond are part of a growing international campaign to fight Islamist militants in the Sahel region. Chad's army is a key player in that alliance, and the West wants to keep it that way. But Roland Marchal is not convinced there is a military solution.
What we are witnessing in Sahel is, first of all, a crisis of governance. It's not a crisis linked to counter-terrorism and jihadi groups and so on. It's because the states in that region are dysfunctioning, and therefore what is needed is not to bring more troops, is to do things better, closer to the reality of problems, of challenges the population in Sahel is facing.
Last year, people in Mali rose up against their government and against French intervention. Perhaps with that in mind, President Macron has now changed his stance on Chad.
En condamnant d'abord avec la plus grande fermeté la répression des manifestations.
Condemning the crackdown on protesters, he called for immediate national dialogue and a proper democratic transition rather than an arranged succession. He stressed that France's support for the military council in Chad was now conditional.
Du Conseil militaire de transition, et c'est la condition même de notre soutien.
Andrew Harding reporting there.
Newsday BBC World Service. Let's get to your headlines now. The Indian government is considering how best to tackle the devastating surge in coronavirus infections and deaths. New research has found that one dose of vaccine can reduce household transmission of the virus by up to 50%. And the Somali president has dropped plans to extend his mandate after days of fighting in the capital, Mogadishu. Let's get you the sports news now. James Gregson.
Thank you very much indeed, Claire. Christian Pulisic was the man who scored a vital away goal as Chelsea drew 488 for assistance in 300 languages. Paid for by the Government of Ontario. Dads, we all got one. Close the fridge door, will ya? You're letting all the cold air out. Always trying to save a buck or two around the house. Are you almost done in there? You've been running the water for 20 minutes. At LG Home Comfort, they're dads too, and moms, so they understand saving money on energy. That's why if you're an Ontario homeowner, your first and last call should be to LG Home Comfort for your heating, cooling, and water needs. So get a tankless water heater and save on that 20-minute shower, or flip on that air conditioner. Visit lghomecomfort.ca to learn more. Vashon Insurance Group presents Did You Know?
Vashon has an RV program for all trailers, motorhomes, and park models. When you're not using your motorhome, they'll send you a check back. It's like a pay-as-you-go policy. Be surprised on how much you can save. Ask the experts at Vashon for details.
I'm a thorough street super for real.
The decision-making in the opponent's box.
That's the mechanized battalion.
And that's throughout the home, it's very, very strong.
Attention now turns to the
United Nations TV is.
Agreements and failed commitment. All we want to say is that we are ready to work with you to reverse the biodiversity loss. The question is,
that's not how it works.
Are you?
There is no reversing. The one interesting thing is if we pollute everything enough with radioactive material, we might make more mutations and solve the problem inadvertently, but we might wipe ourselves right out of this situation as no longer needed. Nature doesn't give a fuck about you. The virus doesn't give a fuck. What is this? No, alright, that's what it is. Oh, this, oh, the other currency. Service America's nothing.
Blake said last week he wanted to leave.
Saw his dream of steering them to an unprecedented quadruple of titles come to an end. 8-time FA Cup winners Chelsea will face Leicester City or Southampton in the showpiece match on May the 15th. It will be the Stamford Bridge side's 4th appearance in the final in the past 5 seasons.
The least exciting sports report in the world. The least exciting sports report in the world. The blood vessels just sticking around.
China's 2021 box office revenue exceeded
way
20
more
billion
than
yuan. $3 billion as of April the 17th, almost equal to the total ticket sales for the whole of 2020. According to box office tracker Mao Yan, comedian and actress Jia Ling's maiden directorial project, Hi Mom, and Wanda Pictures comedy, Detective Chinatown 3, led the box office chart for the period from January the 1st to April the 18th, respectively contributing 27%, nearly 23% of the total. Both films hit.
The problem is China's cracking down on intellectual property shit. There may not be a copy of it out there for me to see.
Data from film data platforms showed, with its cumulative box office revenue topping 5.4 billion yuan, Hi Mom has overtaken the 2017 American fantasy Wonder Woman by Patty Jenkins to become the world's top-grossing film ever by a solo female director. The tearjerker is the second highest grossing film ever at China's box office, outshone only by the 2017 Chinese action-adventure production Wolf Warrior 2, that raked in a total of 5.69 billion yuan. 9 of the top 10 earners this year at China's box office are domestic productions. The only foreign film, US movie, Godzilla vs. Kong, currently ranks 4th on the yearly chart with a total revenue of 1.15 billion yuan. The new chapter in the cinematic
actually goes back to the US.
Beat out Tenet, the sci-fi action film by Christopher Nolan, to become the top-grossing foreign film at China's box office since 2020. You're listening to Special English.
So $250 million it's nothing to laugh at.
That is the end of this edition of Special English. To recap, I'm going to read one of the news items
the biggest
again
market where that movie made money
Please
this
listen
year.
carefully. Hundreds of passengers thronged Australian airports on April the 19th.
So the record books,
as an
like
open
50
border
years from now, when you look back,
New
you're
Zealand,
like, oh, that King Kong, whatever movie,
Australian
Godzilla movie was
fly there for
really,
the first time in over a
really
year,
popular in China. What the hell?
Quarantine for 2 weeks. Though most Australian states have allowed quarantine-free visits from New Zealand residents since late last year, New Zealand had enforced isolation for arrivals from its neighbour, citing concerns about sporadic virus outbreaks there. The travel bubble means Australians and New Zealanders are now free to go between both countries without needing to apply for an exemption or spend some time in quarantine. Alan Joyce, chief executive of Australia's Qantas airline, told ABC that it's the first time in 400 days that people can travel quarantine-free, and the company is adding 16 return flights a day to New Zealand, and they are full. Australia's Prime Minister Scott Morrison and New Zealand's Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern said in a joint statement that the open border will help drive the economic recovery for both countries and reunite thousands with families and friends. Australia was New Zealand's largest source of international tourists before the pandemic, accounting for about 1.5 million arrivals, or 40% of total visitors in 2019. Both Australia and New Zealand had largely closed their borders to non-citizens and permanent residents more than a year ago. Morrison and Ardern warned travellers to prepare for disruptions to travel arrangements at short notice in the event of COVID-19 outbreaks, and said the risks of quarantine-free travel will be under constant review. Both leaders also flagged the possibility of extending quarantine-free travel to other countries in the Pacific region when it is safe to do so. There are some other travel bubbles in effect or on their way. Australia's Deputy Prime Minister said in March that the country was working with Singapore for a potential travel bubble to begin in July. That is the end of today's programme. I hope you'll join us every day to learn English at a slower pace.
Are you one of the many looking to improve your English language skills by
by watching films or TV shows that feel it's too fast or get lost in the words? We'll slow things down with Special English, where you can polish your reading, listening, and pronunciation at your own pace. Get caught up with current news and international affairs while getting your daily English lesson with us. Find us on chinaplus.cri.cn, Apple Podcast, or Himalaya by searching for Special English.
I want to learn Chinese.
其实并不难 ，It can be fun。
欢乐汉语 Chinese Studio。
We're talking about music on this week's show, Yajip, and I'm a huge music fan, so this is awesome.
Yes. Welcome to Chinese Studio, everyone. There are many different music genres. What's your favorite, Cam?
I have to go with alternative rock, probably, but how do I say that in Chinese?
Let's learn about this in Keywords of the Day.
Keywords of the day: pop music, 流行音乐 ；classical music, 古典音乐 ；country music, 乡村音乐 ；jazz, 爵士乐 ；alternative rock is awesome, 另类摇滚真棒 All in today's Chinese studio.
Cam, what kind of music do you often hear on the radio?
I'd have to go with pop music. And how do I say that in Chinese?
It's 流行音乐。
流行音乐。
流行 means popular.
流行。
音乐 means music.
音乐。
流行音乐 pop music.
流行音乐。My dad's a big fan of classical music, so how do I say that?
It's 古典音乐。
古典音乐。
古典 classical.
古典 and 音乐 means music.
Right. 古典音乐 classical music.
古典音乐 which is distinguished from popular music.
能借我几张古典音乐的唱片吗？
不好意思，我只听流行音乐。
Yeah, Jeff, do you like country music?
Yes, I do.
That's too bad. What's the Chinese for country music?
It's 乡村音乐。
乡村音乐。
乡村 countryside.
乡村
and music is
音乐. So with each music genre, you always put 音乐 at the end, correct?
Almost. 乡村音乐 country music.
乡村音乐.
Jazz is a little different in Chinese. It's 爵士乐。
爵士乐。
爵士 jazz.
爵士.
Then it's 乐 instead of 音乐, which also means music.
乐。
爵士乐 jazz music.
爵士乐。
你喜欢乡村音乐还是爵士乐？
我喜欢爵士乐。
有个电台放的爵士乐挺不错的。
是哪一家电台？
中国国际广播电台。
Cam, I know your favorite genre is alternative rock. The Chinese is 另类摇滚。
另类摇滚。
另类 means different from the usual or conventional.
另类。
Rock in Chinese is 摇滚。
摇滚。
另类摇滚。
另类摇滚 alternative rock. Yeah, Jeff, 我爱另类摇滚. I love alternative rock.
Good, but do you know how to say alt rock is awesome?
Tell me. It's what I've wanted to learn for the last 26 years.
Okay, you can say 另类摇滚真棒。
另类摇滚真棒。
真 means indeed or very.
真
棒 means awesome.
棒。
另类摇滚真棒。
另类摇滚真棒. Alt rock is awesome. And I think Chinese studio is 真棒.
你喜欢这支乐队吗？
喜欢啊，另类摇滚真棒。
This is great, yeah, Jim. Now I can tell my friends that alt rock is awesome in Chinese.
Very good. We'd better go to the question of the day.
Good idea. How do you say classical music in Chinese? We will see you tomorrow.
明天见。
most popular Chinese language learning page on Facebook by search CRI Learn Chinese. It's a quick yet fun way to achieve your language goals. Start your free lessons now with unlimited videos, photos, and text tutorials on expressions and Chinese culture. I Learn Chinese Facebook page. The world opens with.
Yes, we know, Chomo. We know. You have no idea what I'm even trying to do or what I was looking at, but just trigger. Oh, there we go. Turn everything on and off.
Scientist who says the evidence is clear. The melting of the ice caps is so profound, it's shifting the planet's poles.
Also, James Gregg is here with the sports news. Andrew Wood will be.
That's not how it works. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. Oh, yes, we know, Chomo. Again, not using any part of it. Yeah, no, the only script you got that still works is that one. And it does nothing. I'm gonna balance that now. Yeah, that's close enough. Oh, Jesus. So, I could tilt the camera and show you. My hand is right next to the mouse. It is. I ain't touching it. I mean, you believe what you want. I don't know if you can see there. But yeah, we get digital harassment. Oh, wow, scary. So scary. You might watch me through my webcam or some shit, right? And steal my MP3 collection, eh?
Out surfing, you'll never find me. My lines are holographic, silver lining, and me shiny. I'm blowing.
Yeah, there's the weird little things that can make happen. Positive to Johnny Dash from glass and green wretched ingesting of breath that comes into the face after chest.
I'm blowing switches, sweet, she burn like poison ivy. I'm such a star that the planet just wanna remind me. I'm serving product, Amy Winehouse and Whitney Houston. It's so comical, the comic, yeah, the style is shooting. I'm serving dopest lines, consider it drug press abuse. Closing these images, cinematic, lyrical illusion. I'm tortured MCs, bright shine, I'll make it scorching. Enforce the rules, smooth drama, cause I make a fortune. I keep a bad bitch that is the choice being snagged. I got the game locked, yeah, like money and bags.
Prepared for Tuesday evening.
My homie, my delivery soul. This game's so bitter, yeah, shivering cold. They'll never find me, I'm the cipher in the enemy scope. I heard fake friends make true enemies. Good feelings, they only making good memories. I'm following, it must have been my penalty. Eventually, karma gets them all in the energy. So take my heart, baby, and you can bleed it dry. Next time I won't be around just to dry your eyes. The sun shines through the droplets of the rain. I just fly it through the clouds while I'm piloting the plane. No rain checks, baby, my checks make it rain. Money on my mind, wide open holes on the brain. I bet she wet and ride it down like Noble with James. See the dead, no shine like bombs without rays. I'm shining dirty like bloody diamonds from Africa. I'm pissed on the speaker, my rhyming is so spectacular. Life in a fast lane, come and be my passenger. Around me, never find me, see I'm something like time traveler. I'll take a girl out this world, so a Milky Way. Star days with dazzler, pussy without filthy sway. Doing lingerie and waiting for the guy leaving with lingerie. Living life a maze freer than holidays. About to get it more breezy than the palm tree. Smoking on a bomb, feeling on a strong weed. I heard love makes them soft like some coca leaves. So soak on these nuts, swallow down like a coconut. Soaring like an eagle, but I'm flyer than a nimbus. Running fire on the track like torches in Olympics. I got them shook like soda when it vented me, addicted to my hooks like junkies with syringes. I'm about my business, like paper in a briefcase. The ladies legs wide open, something like a freeway. I put a pistol in your mouth, so how does beef taste? And if you want that beef, I'll cut it up like Philly cheesesteak.
Now I sweep the streets. Oh.
I'm at high heights, it feels like 30 stories. And if I up the dose, then I could probably be at 40. Like skyscrapers, know I'm touching the clouds. And Queen of Lizzie, girl, it's what I'm really about. Ladies wanna blow me, yeah, they treat me like a famicom. Ladies wanna play me sometimes, I understand I'm wrong. Sometimes I feel like life is only simulation. I smoke weed and drink it on my celebrations. Baby, remember me forever like the flash of my camera. Feel the weight on my chest like I'm breathing with asthma. Kissing the air. I'm at high heights, it feels like 30 stories. And if I up the dose, then I could probably be at 40. Like skyscrapers, know I'm touching the clouds. And Queen of Lizzie, girl, it's what I'm really about. Ladies wanna blow me, yeah, they treat me like a famicom. Ladies wanna play me sometimes, I understand I'm wrong. Sometimes I feel like life is only simulations. I smoke weed and drink it on my celebrations. Baby, remember me forever like the flash of my camera. Feel the weight on my chest like I'm breathing with asthma. Kissing the angels, I know I'm hellbound. Heart scattered on the floor, helpless and I fell down. So please, baby, don't you ever forget me. Keep shooting me down, don't you ever reject me. See, my greatest mystery seems to be my reflection. I keep searching for acceptance, fuck begging for attention, but I'm so gone, I'm gone, so far away. I saw it, try hard, in the maze. Play, you put my heart in display. Sunshine will let me feel the rain. I'm gone, so far away. I saw it, try hard, in the maze. Play, you put my heart in display. Sunshine will let me feel the rain. I love the lab, but feel emotionally crippled. See my heart went numb like a cocaine sniffle. I'm chasing tail, get hit like the flip of a nickel. I need an umbrella. So much rain in the drizzle, like there's a gift that is the promise. Love is the purpose, but it's hard to accomplish. Smile on the surface, skeletons in my closet, and all I need to know is how the hell November rain happened in August, and now I'm finally seeing success, finally seeing progress. I don't wanna lose my identity while up in the process. Broken promises, apologies start to bother me. At the bottom, refilling my problems and prophecy. All I need to see is a smile upon my family's faces. Get them out of court cases, put them up on vacations. Just let me achieve that, I'll breathe at ease. See, my heart went cold, but I won't let it freeze. I'm like, I'm so gone, so far away. I saw it, try hard, in the maze. Play, you put my heart in display. Sunshine will let me feel the rain. I'm gone, so far away. I saw it, try hard, in the maze. Play, you put my heart in display. Sunshine will let me feel the rain. It's mystifying, I keep defying the gravity. It's like I'm flying, but I keep crying out for my sanity. I see you in my dreams, I keep you in my fantasy. The guilt is building up in this persuasive mentality. Rainy clouds hanging over me like chandeliers. It seems I'm never speaking openly. The damage so severe. She took my hardest trophy now. Raised like a souvenir that's flown in needs a heart donor, so many volunteers. These negative thoughts are smiling with the optimism. My friends all long gone, so I optimism. Sometimes I wonder, why do I continue? These people never cared about me, yeah, they just pretend to. X's and O's, fuck these X's and hoes. It's like an exorcism, it's a test of my soul. It's like I'm doing blow, bloody nose. Yeah, I'm running and I'm never looking back, cause these fakes keep running. I'm at high heights, it feels like 30 stories. And if I'm up to those, then I could probably be a 40. Like skyscrapers, norm touching in clouds. Queen Elizabeth, girl, it's what I'm really about. Ladies
What are you stopping exactly from happening? Every time I go to use it, you're going to try to make a
understand I'm wrong. Sometimes I feel like life is only simulations. I smoke weed and drink it on my celebrations. Baby, remember me forever like the flash of my camera. Feel the weight on my chest like I'm breathing with asthma. Kissing the angels, I know I'm hellbound. Heart scattered on the floor, helpless and I fell down. So please, baby, don't you ever forget me. Keep shooting me down, don't you ever reject me. See, my greatest mystery seems to be my reflection. I keep searching for acceptance, walk back for attention, but I'm so gone, I'm gone, so far away. I saw it, dry heart, in the maze. Play, you broke my heart in display. Sunshine, oh, let me feel the rain. I'm gone, so far away. I saw it, dry heart, in the maze. Play, you broke my heart in display. Sunshine.
Keep thinking about it. One tool, you just keep using it over and over and over. You're used to it. You know you're a pedophile, and you're going to scream and yell for pedo rights, right? Look, you've been at this 5 fucking minutes straight. Fuck off.
I could probably be a 40. Skyscrapers, know I'm touching the clouds. And Queen Elizabeth, girl, it's what I'm really about. Ladies wanna blow me, yeah, they treat me like a Famicom. Ladies wanna play me, sometimes I understand I'm wrong. Sometimes I feel like life is only simulations. I smoke weed and drink it on my celebrations. Baby, remember me forever like the flash of my camera. Feel the weight on my chest like I'm breathing with asthma. Kissing the angels, I know I'm hellbound. Heart scattered on the floor, helpless and I fell down. So please, baby, don't you ever forget me. Keep shooting me down, don't you ever reject me. See, my greatest mystery seems to be my reflection. I keep searching for acceptance, walk back for attention, but I'm so gone, I'm gone.
Wow, you're so skinny. You've got one thing you can do. You're going to do this over and fucking over. I can show you the audio, so you're not accomplishing anything. I knew you fucking did that, stupid. I knew you did that.
Far away, I saw dry heart in the maze. Play, you put my heart in display. Sunshine, let me feel the rain. I love the laugh, I feel emotionally crippled. See my heart went numb like a cocaine.
Trying to show me edited pictures of my eyes.
Like the flip of a nickel.
It's even looking at something in the photo.
Raining and drizzle, life is a gift, that is the promise. Love is the purpose, what it's trying to accomplish. Smile on the surface, skeletons in my closet, and all I need to know is how the hell November rain happened in August, and now I'm finally seeing success.
So,
Finally seeing progress.
Tomo's goal here is to cut the audio. He's been at this about 8 minutes, and all he can do is make the stupid bar go up and down, delay everything by 8 seconds. So still.
I'm not in court cases, put them up on vacations. Just let me achieve that, I'll breathe at ease. See my heart went cold, but I will let it freeze. I'm like, I'm so gone, I'm gone, so far away. I saw it drop.
This is the pathology of a child rapist named Bill Napper. See? You can't help it, but every fucking chance you get to fucking edit a photo real fast. Here's your mouth hanging open in a weird fucking big circle. Where's the teeth in the photo, dog? Where's the teeth? Our company photos you keep showing me don't have teeth.
Yeah, they treat me like a Famicom. Ladies wanna play me sometimes, I understand I'm wrong.
I put the joint down at least 5 minutes ago, dog. You're literally playing with yourself in public, like you've done out front of this fucking building.
Like the flash of my camera, feel the weight on my chest like I'm breathing with asthma. Kissing the angels, I know I'm hellbound. Heart scattered on the floor, helpless and I fell down. So please, baby, don't you ever forget me. Keep shooting me down, don't you ever reject me.
See the big flash of
Mystery seems to be my reflection. I keep searching for acceptance, while begging for attention, but I'm so gone, so far away. I saw it, try hard.
You've got 20 minutes to film, buddy. You're fucking stupid. What are you stopping us from doing, you fucking retard?
So far away. I saw it, try hard.
Yeah, you're trying to outguess in 8 seconds ahead. It's not up and down. It's just one signal over and over you're saying. You don't even know how your fucking software works.
See my heart went numb like a cocaine sniffle. I'm chasing tail, get head like the flip of a nickel. I need an umbrella. So much rain in the drizzle like this a gift. That is the
What's wrong? If I stand here, you can't see it.
It's the purpose, what it's hard to accomplish. Smile on the surface, skeletons in my closet, and all I need to know is how the hell November rain happened in August, and now I'm finally seeing success, finally seeing progress. I don't want to lose my identity while I'm in the process. Broken promises, apologies start to bother me. At the bottom, refilling my problems and prophecies. All I need to see is a smile support my family.
That was a bad noise, eh? Yeah, that's good. Dude, click on whatever part of the screen you want, stupid. You are fucking stupid. That was a bad noise. Oh, yeah.
Again, I'm not in court cases, put them up on vacations. Just let me achieve that, I'll breathe at ease. See my heart went cold, but I won't let it freeze. I'm like, I'm so gone, so far away. I saw it, try hard.
Boxes, ASAP, rock in. I handle all of y'all problems. I've been down now, I'm on top. Now we do the shit. More low, movie, low, it's your hoe. Like, oh no, she go low, I've been running around in 6, nigga. Running around like rich, nigga. Big shit bigger than a nigga could be slaying scripts. Trying to get the 6 figures, a 6 nigga. Once I get a little bigger, I'ma get the script, nigga.
Xavier.
We're
I handle all of y'all problems. I've been down, but now I'm on top. Now it's good to see it. More low, movie, low, with your hold like oh no, she go low, I've been running around in the six, nigga. Running around saying bricks, nigga. Spitting shit, thinking that a nigga could be saying switch, trying to get the 6 figures. The 6 nigga. Once I get a little bigger, I'ma hit the script, nigga. Got 100 grams of rubber bands, I bag it up, I'm going hit the script, nigga.
20 bands in, I got 100 grams. Random rubber bands in.